Yo, what's good? It's me, of course, Che, Josh, Mouth, JD, J, whatever you want to call me, JC. That's what it is. It's easier just to go by Josh. Um, I only get called Joshua when I'm in trouble or somebody's trying to make a point that I don't really care about. So, no, but for real, this is really dope for me. This is the official, you know, episode, initial episode of my podcast, Ramble, Young Man Ramble. Um, I am so blessed opportunity to do this. I am figuring all this out as we go. Um, I've bought all the equipment I have secondhand for the most part of my cables. Uh, I don't. I'm figuring out mixing. I'm figuring out all this stuff. So please bear with me. This is the first episode, and if you hear any weird noises, maybe like a bark or yelp, I got a puppy sleep underneath my desk. So just vibe out with me. We'll have a good time. And if you don't have a good time, let me know. Don't just subscribe. We're growing. We're getting better together. So I'm gonna put this out on YouTube on my channel, which I just started today, and I'm gonna put this up on. I'm pretty sure it'll be streamed on all streaming services across the streaming services. So, like I said, this is first episode. This is Ramble, Young Men Ramble. If you're looking for it, it's spelled with no vowels in Ramble. It's just RMBL, Young Man, spelled normal, RMBL. So, a little bit about why I'm starting this podcast. I've always wanted to start a podcast. I do like to talk, and I don't see a lot of people that are in the same mindset or thought process as I. And I'm like, man, like, there's people I listen to, but I can listen to it for a certain period of time before I'm like, let me find somebody else. Like, I've listened to everything, pre crazy Joe Rogan, Fighter and a Kid, before they did some stuff with the falling out between him and a co-host. I listened to Joe Budden before all that. I don't know. The Bodega Boys. Those are my guys. They're actually the first podcast I really listened to. They're hilarious, super vulgar, not safe for children, but they're hilarious. What else? Who else I listen to? I listen to a lot of pastors. They're not really podcasts. They're more into sermons, just in podcast form. I listen to history podcasts. I listen to this podcast about the history of Africa. He's going by country. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I drive a lot for work, so I average about 1,000 miles a week at work. So I got a lot of time to listen, and which is cool because when I start talking, I talk a lot. But don't worry, I'm trying to keep these episodes about 30 minutes, so that I don't lose your attention, and also I don't start talking about nonsense, which is inevitable because that's kind of what this show is about. Is honest ramblings. Maybe nonsense and may not be nonsense. I'm working on creating not a platform, but a structure to this. So if there's no structure and you guys like it with no structure, give me a thumbs up. If hey man, you're all over the place. I'm rambling, but I can contain some of the ramblings at some point. So, yeah. If you don't know me, like I said, my name's Josh. Find me on IG at codename_Che. Che is a name that a call sign rather that I've held on to from the military. My boy Big John, rest in wealth. He called me that, and before you know it, my entire unit called me that. There's people that didn't know my real last name and would just call me Che. And it sounds, people may Che, and I'm a big dude, and don't get it twisted, player, but I used to have it on my jersey, my softball jerseys. And quick story, ramble part one, or first ramble. I was playing softball in Utah, and I had we had bought some pink jerseys, and our team name was the Pink Sox, and that's because they let me pretty much run our entire athletic group in our unit, right? Me, I did everything athletics. I did all the meetings, all everything, put the team together. So softball was like my main thing that I ran, and they're like they didn't care, they didn't care. So I named our team the Pink Sox. And if you don't know what the Pink Sox is, Google it. But make sure you're on private or incognito when you Google it. So imagine military team on base running around with this jersey on, and I had to tell people, oh, it's kind of like the Black Sox, White Sox, and the Red Sox, but just pink. Breast cancer awareness, right? There will be mess ups in my language, in my English. There will be. Get over it. My mouth moves faster than my brain at times, and vice versa. But no, we were playing, and I got picked up on another team to go play a league night somewhere else off base. And I had it was on the back of my jersey, and that was no jersey I grabbed or whatever. I just had the pink one. And I played these guys before, but I wasn't consistently going. So they called me and needed one. So I come and I show up late, like I always do. I showed up late and grabbed my bat, so warming up, and there was this lady behind home plate talking. I think she was a little sauced up, but she's talking, and I knew she wasn't with us because she was I wouldn't call her a lot lizard, but a lot lizard adjacent. So we're playing, and she's running her mouth. She's running her mouth. And I come up, is that cha cha? I'm like, lady, one, you can't read Chay, Chay. And I think probably one of my jerseys has Che. Still Che, right? And she's like, oh, Che, what are you gonna do? I look at her, and I hit a ball over 300 feet. Over the fence, whatever. Boom. And I didn't really say anything to her. I just put them, whatever. I was let her. And I guess they thought it was a fluke. I'm the youngest guy on the team. I had to be, 22, 23, youngest guy on the team. I think it's a fluke. And I come back up to bat. She's like, yeah, that was cute last time, blah, 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 blah. So I hit another one. And I usually don't hit home runs on command. But today it was just working. I come back up again, and I guess her husband was the first pitcher, and we got him out of there, so he went to play third. And it's kind of an unwritten rule, and sometimes written rule. You hit the pitcher, or you blow up the middle, right? Expect friction. So I wasn't gonna do that to him. I was just gonna hit home runs, and his wife kept talking, but he was at third base. They don't call third base the hot corner for no reason. And I pulled that ball so hard that he didn't have time to move. The ball went right past him. And I get to second, and he's barking at his wife like, shut up. You're talking. They're losing too. And I'm just sitting laughing or whatever. But that's the fun story about the name Che Che. I love it. Don't get it twisted. I'm a baller. Alright? When I am balling. Last couple years ain't been too good. I've been up and down, but it is what it is, right? Anyway, yeah, code name _ Che Che. It is public now. I had my page private for a long time, going through some things and dealing with stuff myself. And this podcast is the perfect timing for this podcast to start. This week's been dope for me, really dope. A lot of weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I feel like I can breathe. I'm like genuinely happy. Having some good times, right? Good conversations I was scared to have, that I needed to have, that I had. And if you follow my IG, you'll get a little bit, more information. Not information, but a little bit closer glimpses to what I'm talking about. But yeah, this This podcast, I'm talk about everything, man. Honest talk. We can talk about the news. We can talk about whatever. You know, uh, she felt like getting up. My dog's name is Little Girl, right? That's her name. She's a little girl. She's not big. She's little. She's annoying. She's cute. She's adorable, but she's annoying and has an attitude problem. Right? And you're gonna see me in a lot of hoodies. It's hot down here, but I keep my apartment cold. So I'm in love with these Nike hoodies. So if you see some dope Nike hoodie colors and you want to throw them my way, or even send me a pin, do that. I just got a box of sweatsuits the other day from Nike. I'm surprised they ain't sent me no extra gifts. The amount of sweats I done bought from them. But yeah, so man, what are we gonna talk about first? What can we talk about first? You know, hot. I know I'm a little late, but it was a hot topic. The whole, Donda and Certified Lover Boy situation. I feel like it was a little over advertised, I guess. I was expecting better from both of them. I'm not really a Drake fan at all, really. He makes good club music. So when your boy, when I'm in the club a little loose off the crown, y'all know who I am, loose off the crown. Somehow I knew every word to the Drake song, right? I don't listen to Drake. I don't. Drake is not in my playlist. I listen to his album when it first comes out just to see what it's gonna be like, because it's always this grand rollout. And Certified Lover Boy sound like a mixtape to me. They're all individual songs, and because of that, Certified Lover Boy is not a classic. It's not a classic album. And I can't say it's a classic mixtape album because it's not packaged as such. They've been waiting for an album from Drake, and he does the same thing over and over again. He gives you a whole bunch of songs that he thinks are going to be hits individually together. What other than that, like, I can't. And because of that, he's not a top 5 rapper to me. He's not touching Cole. He's not touching Kendrick. They're artists, and he's a pop star. That's just what it is. No hate, respect him. He be getting the ladies loose. He get them feeling good, feeling right about themselves. Vegas, spring break in Vegas, they be all Drake time, demon time. Springtime Miami, demon time. If that's what time you on, that's what time you need to be on. I feel it. He has his place. That's not my style. We gonna move on from that. Donda. Donda was for the most part, cohesive album. Too long. He hoarded too much. Whereas he shouldn't have part 1 and 2. He should have mixed them together and gave us multiple features on the song. Like, he could have cut himself out of jail. Both versions. The Baby slid on it. Slid on the record. He came back to make sure we remember that, he may be raggedy with the situation between Tory and Megan, but my mans can rap, and I mean rap. Best. I know Jay-Z's on the album, but the Baby has the best feature on that album. Jay-Z did what Jay-Z did. He does what he does. We knew who he was before and after that verse. He didn't get his, he didn't catch us, right? Jay-Z's in a different realm right now. He's in a different mode, and he's not quite rapping to that mode, right? Excuse me, I have a dog right now that wants to play. She was just asleep, cuddled up underneath the desk. Now when I start recording, she won't. I got to remove the toy. I got to remove it. Now she all up in my, Anyway, yeah, Donda. He's looking for something, right? He's looking for a sound himself or whatever. He's looking, and he's close to it. It's because he's transitioning from Sunday service into something where he can push his religious theme music, because I don't know if he's really about it or not. That's not my place. I don't know. Um, but he's looking for the sound, you know, like um, let's say, like you can kind of hear it when he transitions from sound to sound, right? Take for example, um, the graduation. The graduation had sounds that we hadn't heard in the prior to early dropout and late registration. They had sounds a little bit more, some ominous sounds, but they're hidden in a happy up tempo beat and his flashy, polo backpack rap. But when 808 Heartbeats came out, you can see mirrored sounds, but different, if it's pitch or whatever. And I didn't notice that until this album. That he's, I'll give him this, crazy or whatever you want to call it. But he's a like legit like artist, where a lot of rappers are rappers and not like real artists. Prime example. Nas, favorite rapper of all time. His lyrics are art, but he himself is not really a not really an artist. He's an artist when it comes to being a hip hop artist. He's an artist to his writing, a poet, right? But y'all gonna have to live with it, like I told you, right? But he, Kanye, is like a for real artist. Like he's just, and you can see it even when it comes to his art, his style, his fashion. Like the best thing I can subscribe it to or describe it, not subscribe it to, but connect it to would be like a Mozart beat. All those dudes are like a little crazy, a little off. They didn't quite fit into the normal social cues, and when they tried to, they eventually fail in an emphatic way where it's like, oh, that dude's nuts. You got guys that cut their ears off. You got guys that cut in between their fingers so they can spread their fingers out wider to play their keyboard a little bit better. Sorry, this is my puppy's nose. I know this looks wild. But that's the dog. That's my dog. That's a little girl, and she's unhappy that I'm not paying her any attention. So bear with me, and I'm sorry, but let's get back to it. But that look mad wild. I'm luckily I don't edit, so everything that's going up is going up. The audio version of my podcast will be 30 minutes, and the video may be a little bit longer, and that's just the way I am recording to distribute. So don't freak out. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to get too deep into Kanye. Like, we can talk about him and his antics, but his antics are his antics. He's a distraction that's not purposely being a distraction. He's necessary, and at the same time unnecessary. He's necessary to display that type or that side of America, that side of thinking, that side of black culture, but he's unnecessary as it seems to be a disruption. But it's kind of good that there is a disruption in our politics. And I'm sorry for transitioning from music to politics so quick, but Kanye is a great conduit for that change, for that switch. And our politics in this country, it is more convoluted than you think it is. It's real murky, and the way, and like law, like or whatever, um, it's like that on purpose. You they want us to not really know what's going on, but still trust them at the same time. It's like do as I say, not as I do kind of situation, and I think it's raggedy. And I think it's raggedy because we continue perpetuate the cycle of not understanding and not forcing these people to work on our behalf. Sorry, my laptop kind of close. But and I think we still have that power, but we don't. We give up that power because of um, fear. And prime example, after 9/11, we forfeited a lot of freedoms so that we can be secure in our nation. That is the contract and the negotiations we have with the Constitution and the federal government. Whereas initially, this government was never meant to control as much as it is today. And as though me being a black man, I was not thought of as a part of this country when the original Bill of Rights and Constitution was drafted. We were an afterthought, but you still have to understand the contents of which it was written at that time. Like the fact that George Washington walked away after 8 years or 2 terms, and he's like, "Nah, that's too much." Um, or the fact that one of his speeches he said there should not be two parties because before this, Parliament had two parties. I think they still have two parties, and then you succumb to tribalism and gang-like mentality, and you revert back to chattel, where like Democrats and Republicans annoy me. I'm sorry, you guys are annoying. You guys are just fitting in the crowd. You just find it when you fit it, even though you don't 100% agree. Like, think of this way: a pastor of a church can be a Democrat and push a Democrat, and what's the word? Um, give a Democrat his blessing or his nod to go forth and serve his area or whatever, right? But said that Democrat is anti things that we believe in our faith, like anti-abortion. He's pro-abortion and all this stuff, which we'll get to another day. Abortion and all that stuff, because Texas is wild, baby. It is wild down here. They're a little loose with those laws, but so it's a contradiction. Whereas I believe if you're gonna stand up for something and tell somebody else that they're wrong in person, your politics should align in that same way. I'm an independent. I tend to vote libertarian. You should look into the Libertarian Party. And we're a bunch of independents for the most part that just happen to vote in a group because more or less they want us to leave us alone. They have Republican views on leaving people alone, right? Guns and stuff like that, their rights. And then they have Democratic views on people need help. That's where I'm at. People need help and leave me alone. Help the people, be in the face of the people who need help and not in my face and in my pocket. You feel me? And there's also other people who vote with their bank account. Taxes. Pfft, Trump did y'all kind of in. Look at it. Trump did you in a little bit. Not a lot of cuts. Where there were cuts, he even cut it in how we got money back and how you guys were. Yeah. So, that being said, man, so quickly I can change subjects. And like I said, maybe later on I will record to the point where I can get hour, 45 minutes in. But right now I'm just going to do 30 minutes, right? I got about 6 minutes left right here in the audio recording. But I just want to know if you listen, if you watch or whatever, I already appreciate you guys for even giving the time. I'm going to try not to stalk the views or whatever like that, but it's just how it's going to be, right? I love you guys. I'm always going to leave with some positivity, right? Even if I'm having a bad day, I'm going to leave you guys with some positivity, because a lot of times when you speak positive to somebody else, you're not really talking to them. You're talking to yourself, and they just happen to be listening. So, there's so much going on in our current world, on our earth or whatever, from climate change, storms, flooding, people dying, shooters, and all this other stuff, right? Just understand, this world is not as bad as the media makes it out to be. So do not invest your emotional state on what CNN or Fox has to say about something, right? Or whatever outlet. Um, you have to see in yourself and in your circle around you, what's near you, even if it's via social media or whatever. You got to see how your world is reacting, right? You can't save everything or everybody. You can't fix everything or everybody. Um, so you're gonna be okay, right? It's okay. You're going to be okay. That is like my new motto. My old motto used to be, "It is what it is." I still say that a lot, but it's okay. It's something that you and I would like for you guys to just kind of remember. Like nothing's the end of the world until the end of the world, right? My stepmom used to always say, when I was upset about stuff or whatever, and it's not really something that made me feel better, but she just said it. You'll live until you die, right? My cousin, Locke, you know, he told me one time, he said this one time, and I've been saying it ever since. Okay? Some people say, life is long, or life is short, excuse me, but it's the longest thing you'll ever do. So, that being said, take advantage of the time you have with the people you have, people that love you and the people you love. You know what I'm saying? Love everybody. Show some support to people. Check on the people. When the people that talk a lot to you, they start to get quiet, check on them, right? But also don't badger them about, oh, you okay? What's wrong with you? Nah. Sometimes you have to be the one to open up first, and for them to feel comfortable and feel like it's a safe space for them to open up. Trust me, I believe it. I know this. I've been living this. Finally, I feel a little bit better about a lot of things going on. I'm not going to air out myself completely on this podcast. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. And like I said, there's a lot going on in this world, a lot of things and people I want to talk to and bring on this podcast. But I got to make sure I'm straight and that you guys can hear me all the time and it's not crazy sounding. So then I do bring people on. I got it together. I may even get to the point of doing some IG lives, Facebook lives, all that stuff, right? But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. You guys are incredible. You guys are dope. And like I said, it's going to be okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure all this mixing thing out. So we're going to play some of this outro, baby. I love you guys. Like I said, you guys have a great day. And know, Jesus loves you. I do too. All right. Have a good one. Peace.